I have an I too, again with another video. And this video I want to touch on fear and the different fears that exist. So pretty much fear only exists in the world. Fear is not an energy that indigenous people or anything in nature actually embodies in any moment. Even if you have this idea that there are predators and then there are prey. Even the animals that are more of the prey, they don't fear death. That's not an idea that exists to them. Some might think, oh, how do you know what animals feel and this and that? It's not a harmonious energy. It does not exist in nature. It's just a part of, we just allow things to flow in nature. There's no fear of anything. There's no fear of lack. There's no fear of death. There's no fear of, that's it. Those are really the only things that people fear, even if it appears that it's layered with many different things. So in the world, even in these moments right now, there's a lot of fear mongering, a lot of things that are being pushed out. Oh, you have to go get a vaccine. Fear. You can't travel unless you get a vaccine. There's more fear. You can't go outside without wearing a mask, so you can get sick. Fear. It's all around death, which means that you think that there's a lack of life. There's a fear of poverty. There's a fear of a fear of not being successful. All of these things, lack, death, that just goes hand in hand. I feel like there's a lack of death. A lack of life. Pardon yourself. A lack of life does not exist. Life is abundant. Period. Life is so abundant. There's nothing to fear. We fear if we don't got $1 in our pocket that we're going to starve. How could you ever starve when there's food everywhere around you? Is the medicine everywhere around you? This is medicine, and it don't cost $1. It grows wild everywhere, no matter where we are. It just grows wild. So how could I ever fear death or fear that I'm going to be sick? How could I ever fear that I'm going to starve because I don't have $1? How could I ever fear being alone? When I walk hand in hand with the Most High. The Most High dwells right here with I. There's not a fear of anything. Fear is the biggest trick. It's the biggest trick, the biggest trick, the biggest trick. Most of us are afraid to go out into the bush because how are we going to survive? We fear that we may perish in the bush. But to be the bearer of this news, you will perish quicker in the world. You will perish quicker when you are not one, a living one with the earth. Period. Diseases do not exist in the bush amongst indigenous people, indigenous peoples. Fear, those things, that's the sickness, that's the disease, that's the true disease, the true illness of the mind, of the spirit, of the soul. That's the true disease, that's the true sickness. We created all of these things because we were afraid of ourselves. How does that make sense? We were afraid that we did not have what we already are equipped with to thrive, not survive, but to thrive. So we created a bunch of different things out of that fear that really and truly make us more fearful. We created money so that we could get more of whatever we thought we lacked in the first place. And with getting more money, making this money, now if we don't have that money, we fear we're going to be broke. We're not going to be able to eat. We're not going to be able to do anything. We can't do this, that. All of that is just, it's foolish and it's folly. So this is also a continuation of the last video I made about having the freedom or being free, having freedom. If you fear anything, you are not free. If you have any kind of fear in your heart, you are not free. If I have any fear in my heart, I am not free. So pretty much this video is not even really to preach or to teach nothing. Really just sharing a reminder that to be free is to have no fear. Fear does not exist. What are we afraid of? There's nothing to be afraid of. If we truly know, not believe, but if we know the Most High, or if we know God, if we know Jesus, Jesus Christos, if we know Yah, if we know Jah, if we know Allah, we know the Most High, what do we have to fear? Faith. Faith, faith, faith. So, to sum up, just to reiterate, have no fear. There is nothing for us to be afraid of. In these moments of all of these different systems crumbling right before our eyes, there's nothing to fear about that. If it's be a shortage of money, let it be a shortage of money, because we're not going to need it anyway. If there's a shortage of farm crops, let it be a shortage of farm crops, because we don't need to be eating it anyway. The earth is purging all of those things out. If there's a shortage of jobs, let it be a shortage of jobs. We don't need jobs anyway. If it's a shortage of electricity, let it be a shortage of electricity. We don't need those things anyway. Any of these different things, if the government is falling, let the governments fall. We don't need governments anyway. If all of these different electronics start malfunctioning, let them malfunction, because we don't need them anyway. So I think I've pretty much said it. I just got my sign. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say in this video. I hope that you can truly sight and hear what's being said. I hope you can feel it and know it within yourself. And work and grow, continue to grow within your higher eye, and move with faith, move with trust in yourself. So, ahavathirteen.